I'm gonna make a green bean casserole, but I'm gonna make it my way. All right, I'm gonna thinly slice 1 large red onion, and I'm gonna marinate it or have it sit in buttermilk for a couple of hours until it's time to fry. And the reason I like for my onions to sit in buttermilk, of course, so the flour and the dredge will stick to the onions. All right, so I have my onions here, thinly sliced. I'm gonna add some buttermilk just to submerge it into the bowl. I'm gonna let these hang out in the fridge until it's time to dredge and fry. All right, put that in there. So my green bean casserole starts off with fresh green beans that I'm snapping. You gotta take the ends off, the rough ends. And I'm just gonna boil them really quick, get them nice and soft. I'm gonna make a bechamel sauce with a little garlic powder, some milk, some sherry, which is typical in low country cuisine. I'm gonna bake it off and put crispy red onions on top. I'm snapping about 2 pounds of green beans. This will be enough for a 9x13 casserole. I'm gonna boil them for a few minutes till they get a little soft. Remember, I'm gonna finish cooking it in the oven. While that's boiling, I have some baby bella mushrooms here. I'm gonna add it to my casserole. So there's green beans and mushrooms. I'm just gonna saute them in my cast iron skillet here with a little bit of butter. And when I saute them, I'm just gonna draw out some of that water because mushrooms do have a tendency to carry a lot of water. Hit it with some salt, help extract some of the water out of the mushrooms. I know when mushrooms are done cooking when the color starts to turn from this kind of like a grayish white to like a darker brown color. I want to grab my green beans because they're done, drain them and get them on some ice to stop the cooking process. Don't want them to cook anymore because I do have to put them in the oven. So the mushrooms look great. I'm gonna take them out and start my bechamel sauce, which is basically a cream sauce. I'm basically making a cream of mushroom sauce. The start of a bechamel sauce is normally butter and flour, then milk. All right, so I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of flour. That's how it gets nice and thick. And I'm basically making a roux. Add a little bit of my sherry in there. I say about a 1/4 cup of sherry. Typically in a bechamel sauce, you will not find sherry. Just wanna give it a dry type of wine flavor. I'm gonna add in about 2 cups of milk. And you actually wanna use a whisk because you gotta break down the flour, otherwise you'll have clumps of flour in your bechamel. Now I wanna season my bechamel with cracked black pepper and some garlic powder. Starting to smell that. It's gonna take about 5 minutes until the sauce gets nice and thick. I wanna actually add back my mushrooms at this time. So this is perfect texture that I'm looking for. It just coats the spoon. I wanna turn it off. Let me grab my onions, super simple dredge. I'm gonna use about a cup of flour, a heavy teaspoon of my all-purpose seasoning. Just in case you don't know, I got some sweet paprika, some onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. So just covering the onions in the flour. I have some oil that I have nice and hot back there in a cast iron skillet. I'm just gonna drop it in the oil, fry it up, super simple. Drop it like it's hot, because it is. They're golden brown. I'm gonna drop them off here. Got my green beans. So I'm gonna assemble the casserole, put the cream of mushroom in there, bake it off for a little bit, and then put the onions on later. I want it to still stay crispy on top. I'm gonna add my cream of mushroom right into this casserole dish. Mix it up. All right, I'm gonna pop my green bean casserole in the oven. Again, the oven is at 350. I wanna let this bake uncovered for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, my green bean casserole is done. Oh man, look at that. Nice and bubbly and creamy. Ooh, that smells good. Last but not least, add those fried onions on top. And I like a lot of onion. I'm gonna put all of the onions on top there.